Okay, we have started recording. Stuti, first of all, thank you so much for doing this. And I think you have also been part of Codess.Cafe, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, right. So thank you so much for doing this and giving back to the community. Uh, she anyway helps a lot with a lot of work in the community. You must have seen her name in different channels. She keeps posting. So can you uh, can you give a brief introduction and then maybe we can start with what is this opportunity and then we can take it forward from there.
yeah. My name is Stuti Jain. I am a third year computer engineering student at DTU, and I am an incoming software engineering intern at Microsoft. Let's begin with this session. So, today's session is all about the Microsoft Engage Mentorship Program. So, this is a program for second year students by Microsoft, which is generally organized in summer vacations. So here the students are selected on based on the performance of an online assessment, and they receive mentorship from Microsoft engineers, and they have to complete a task, and based on that they are evaluated, and finally they receive an opportunity to be interviewed with Microsoft for the internship in summers next year. Let's discuss in detail about the procedure for application. So first of all, you have to apply on the portal where you have to fill in your basic details, and you have to provide them your resume. And after that, you receive a link for the online assessment. Based on the scores of the online assessment, the students are selected for the Microsoft Engage Mentorship Program, and there you are assigned some tasks. The mentees are selected, and they are assigned some tasks, and their performance is evaluated. And finally, if their performance is good enough, they give the opportunity to mentees to be interviewed by Microsoft for the internship. Now coming on to the details of the online assessment. So it contains both subjective and as well as objective questions. So the main topics covered in the online assessment are the CS fundamentals, BS algo, and there were also questions on the basic get commands. And touching more on the subjective part, so in the subjective questions, the questions are like you would be given a problem for which you have to write an algorithm. And there were also questions like how would you explain recursion to a five-year-old kid. So you have to explain this, and as far as I remember, the questions were also from AVL trees, recursion, and there were also questions from basic get commands and other DSA. So for preparation part, I would suggest to practice questions, the previous year gate questions from Geeks for Geeks, which are based on DSA, because pattern is quite similar. So it would be really helpful if you practice those questions. Now moving on to the program structure. So after giving the online assessments, the students are selected based on the scores of their online assessment. And then at the beginning of the program, each student is assigned some mentors who are senior software engineers at Microsoft. So the mentors help the students with any queries or any problem they face during the program, and they connect with the students every week. So the program is a month long program. So the mentors connect with their mentees every week and help them with their projects, help them with their project review, and also help them tackle with any queries or any problems they are facing. So at the beginning of the program, the students are assigned some projects either individually or are divided into the groups, and they have to complete the project by the end of the program, that is after the duration of 1 month. So the structure is uniform, that is either everyone would have to complete the project individually, like in our time we have to complete the project individually, and last year the students were divided into groups to complete the project. Now, also during this mentorship program, various sessions are organized based on like agile methodology or Azure, and based on those sessions, some assessments are also given to the mentees to be completed within stipulated time. So after the people after the Microsoft Engage mentorship program ends, the mentees have to submit their project work, and based on their performance in the project, their mentor feedback, and their performance in the assessments conducted based on the sessions. So overall performance of the mentees is evaluated, and finally, if they have performed good, they would get a chance to be interviewed with Microsoft for the internship. So this is the structure of the program, and according to me, this is a really great opportunity for you guys, and you would get an opportunity to learn a lot from this, and also an opportunity to be interviewed for internship. So in my opinion, you should definitely give it a try and apply for this, and prepare well for the same. Yes, so this is all from my side.
Stuti, can you elaborate a little bit on how you prepared for the test? Did you know it was coming? Was there something specific that you did for it?
Yeah, so we were actually it at in my time. So it was not deterministic whether they would be conducting the program, or they would not be conducting the same this year. So we were told about it only few weeks before. So as such, I for preparation, I practiced the questions, previous year gate questions on DS Algo from Geeks for Geeks. So I found the pattern quite similar to those in online assessment as well. So I think that was really helpful. And apart from that, regular practicing of DSA, and also studying the CS fundamentals would be really helpful. And also, since they asked about the basic get commands, it would be great if you could learn about the get beforehand.
Yeah, thank you so much. Another question that I had is, was this on campus for you?
I guess for our college it was considered on-campus opportunity, but I guess it was an off-campus opportunity for other colleges.
Okay, so anyone can apply.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, just another question: is there any criteria that they consider? Like, is it open for all undergrads, or what's the criteria? What's the prerequisite?
For it was open on only for second year students, and I think there wasn't any restriction on the branch, but there was some criteria on the percentage of CGPA, but that was very low. So I guess most of the people would be able to apply. I didn't remember the exact numbers for the CGPA.
That's completely fine. I think we can start taking questions from the chat box. Let me read it out for you. What is the level of PSL the questions asked?
Uh, so uh, I guess the level of DS Algo questions was it wasn't like a complete DS Algo question, typical DS Algo questions as we do on Lead Code or GFG. It was more of based on the pattern of gate that I told you that the questions that are there on GFG, and also there were questions like uh, the questions were based on the implementation, and like going deeper into the data structures and how they could be used in different ways. So they were quite innovative, but they were not typical DSA questions we practice.
Okay, so it's safe to say, like, if you know the basics very nicely, then you will be able to clear it.
Yeah, that would be really apt description.
Okay. What is the maximum intake of 90 in this program?
So in our time, it was, I guess, 1,000 mentees were selected for the program.
Out of how many?
I guess 10,000. Oh, I didn't remember the exact numbers. It was it 10,000 or 50,000 applicants. I didn't remember the numbers.
No problem. Uh, is it only for tier one college or anyone can apply? I guess we have answered that already.
Yeah, anyone could apply for that.
Is there any interview screening or resume shortlisting before giving this online test?
So I don't know about the resume shortlisting, but I have heard that some people didn't get the link for the online assessment after filling the form on the portal. So maybe there was some resume shortlisting, but they didn't mention it really openly anywhere.
Okay. Are registrations open now? Can anyone please share the link? Uh,
I think registrations haven't opened yet, but they'll announce the date soon.
is engaged on campus or students from every college receive the link?
So
I yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so we have taken this question before also that it is off-campus opportunity, so most of the campuses were eligible. But in my case, it was an on-campus, so we had to apply through the college.
Okay. This question is interesting. This year, will the assessment happen online or offline?
So since in our time everything was online, so assessment was also online. Uh, and this year too, probably the assessment would be online, but I'm not sure.
Were the DSM get questions objective questions?
Sorry, could you please repeat the question?
Basically, what was the questions objective or subjective?
So there was a mix of subjective and objective questions, as I elaborated before. That subjective questions were like you have to write an algorithm for a problem, or explain recursion to a 5-year-old kid. These were the type of questions in subjective category.
How much time do we get for the online assessment and the time spent between submitting the application and getting the link for online assessment?
So we submitted the application. Uh, it was really a quick process. So after submitting the application, within a week, I guess we got the test link for the online assessment, and the assessment was 45 minutes to 1 hour long. So this was it.
There's a follow-up question to the time spent between the application and getting the link for the online.
Sorry, your voice isn't really clear.
The time between the submitting the application and getting the link for online assessment. Can you just tell can you just add a timeline to the overall process? I think that will be more beneficial.
Yeah, sure. So the process was quite quick. So I guess we applied during the month of June itself. Sorry, during I guess end of May, and within a week we received the link for the online assessment. And after the assessment took place, within another week, I guess we got the result whether we are shortlisted for the mentorship program or not. And after that, after announcement of the results, from that day, it was a month long program. And after that, within 2-3 weeks, I guess we received the information regarding our interviews.
Uh, okay, thank you so much for that. Um, Next question is from Prerna. Are the questions only objective or both subjective and objective? We have taken this one. Palajan says, could you elaborate more on subjective questions?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, the questions were like writing algo for a particular problem. Like they would not a standard problem, but they would give a problem, and we have to not code it right away, but have to mention the algorithms or the steps for the same. Or there were also questions like how would you explain recursion to a 5-year-old kid or something like that. So these are the type of subjective questions.
Okay. Um, Sai Pallavi asks, will tier 3 college people also receive test links? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I have heard many tier three college students receiving internship offered through Microsoft Engage Mentorship program. So obviously they would also receive link for the test.
Okay. Next question is from Pavandeep Kaur. What they expect in resume?
So I am not sure whether they shortlisted students based on the resume because they didn't mention anything about that. So I would not be sure either of what they expect in the resume, but as the general trend is, so in the resume, generally companies look for any coding competitions you have performed well in, or any star ratings on sites on coding CP sites like CodeChef, CodeForces, LeetCode, etc., or any scholarships you have won, like many Google scholarships and etc. So that's and any open source contributions you have made, or how much interest you show, and how well you have performed in your academics, etc.
Okay, let's move ahead. Um, Questions from core subjects are also asked, or only DSR is asked.
Yeah, so there were questions from OOPS and other CS fundamentals like DBMS, and there were also questions from C language. So yeah, questions from core subjects are also asked.
I think Diksha, I missed two questions in between. Diksha is asking, does everyone who fills the application get the online assessment link, or do only students whose resume are shortlisted get the test link?
Yeah, so I'm not sure about the process of whom do they shortlist, and how do they shortlist students for online assessment, or is there really any criteria for shortlisting these students, or it is just that they provide the link to everybody? Because I have heard students who have not received the link for the assessment, but I don't think I'm really sure about the criteria they have followed, or was it a mistake? I don't know.
Next question is again from Pavandeep Kaur. Our college didn't got the link last year. Should I apply with referral? Is referral allowed for this in high school?
Uh, for referral part, I don't know about whether they are accepting referrals for this program. Maybe I'm really not sure about this.
I think Pavandeep, even if they are not accepting the referral, you can at least try using like referral. You never know. Like if they are not selecting, they are not considering. You are anyway not gonna get considered. So why not just give it a shot? Okay, question from Paul. Next question is what they ask in interview. Yeah. So can you explain a little bit over how your interview was and what they asked?
Yeah, so I assume that you are asking about the interview that is taken for the internship, for offering the internship. So in that they discuss about my this they discussed about my resume, and they also discussed about my project which I have done during the mentorship program, and they also asked DSA questions like in a normal interview, and they also discussed with me about CS fundamentals like OOPS, DBMS, computer networks, etc.
Okay. Uh, Garvita, we have answered. Okay, Garvita is asking, can first year apply?
No, I guess this program is only open for second year students. I recently saw a post on LinkedIn regarding the same, so it was clearly mentioned that this is open for second year students.
Okay. Uh, then there's Drishita. She asks, how many interview rounds were there?
Yes, so for me, they conducted two interview rounds, and I have heard that most of the people got two interview rounds only. Like I didn't hear any anomalies in the pattern, so I assume that there were two interview rounds for everyone.
Okay. Next question is, do they ask or do interview in one-on-one session during the program?
So there is no as such interview kind of thing during the program. It is a one-on-one session, or like you could call it a one-on-one call with your mentors. It is not an interview, but they review your progress or help you get unstuck if in case you are stuck in between while preparing your project. So it is not an interview. They are just evaluating you throughout the process, and they are just there to guide you and mentor you if you are unable to do everything.
Okay. Palak is asking, can you tell where to practice such type of subjective questions?
I think you there's not as such any platform to practice such subjective questions, but it would be good if you learn the fundamental CS concept, DS algo, if you could enhance your grasp on DS algo, because after all the things were based on that only, and you have to just explain the same in your own words. So if you have a good grasp on CS fundamentals or on DS algo, so it would be good to go.
Okay. Prerna is asking, is lead code enough to crack the interview?
Yes, so on lead code, you would be able to get like you would get hands-on practice for DSA part, but for CS fundamentals, you have to study the concepts of OOPS and C programming language, C++, and also DBMS, etc. So that would also be required for the same. And also they asked questions on basic Git commands, etc. So it would be good if you could learn Git, and also try to focus on algorithm parts also, because the questions were based on those also, because the questions were not typically the way they are on the lead code.
Uh, Pallavi Mishra is asking, when does the application open for off-campus?
I think there wasn't any separate application for on campus or off campus. So the timeline was same. It would be opening soon. It opens in May, I guess, mid May, I guess, or start of the May.
Thank you so much, Stuti. Um, People, if you have any doubt, please feel free to put it in the chat box. Till then, Stuti, can you, did you had any group discussion or something? Like ideation sort of?
No, they actually in our time we have to prepare the project individually, unlike the last to last year pattern. So we were not, so we did not have anything to like have a group discussion. We were free to include any features we want in our project. But there were many sessions conducted where we could ask our doubts from the people there in the Microsoft. So they addressed all the doubts regarding the program, but there wasn't any group discussion kind of a thing. We could discuss anything with our mentors, but that was a general mentorship from the mentors.
Uh, what would you say, like the projects that you did, do you have any do's or don'ts or any specific advice related to those projects?
Yeah, so regarding projects, I would suggest that since projects are mainly based on preparing a web application or an Android application, so I would suggest to if you could learn the web development or Android development kind of things, because in 1 month long, in duration of 1 month, it would be difficult for you to start the development from scratch and then build the project with required specification and also come up with new exciting features. So it would be great if you could start learning web development from now itself. or any Android development, because many people were there from ML background and they were facing quite some difficulties in development area. So that's what I would suggest.
Also, like as you said, you interacted with people from Microsoft and you were in constant touch with them. Would you say, like you did you see any change in yourself, and how does that help you? How does that help an individual to grow?
Yeah, so I think it was a really great opportunity to learn. I could really sense myself getting mature. Like while developing my college projects, I didn't like used to focus much on whether it would be compatible with all the browsers or not. But since we have to submit the project for program like this, so I tried to keep in mind whether a particular feature would be supported on all the browsers or not, or anything like that. I was really developing with the mindset of a professional. So I felt myself to grow. I felt myself that I have grown much more professionally. Also, I was writing comments for everything, and I was following all the best practices, like delivering the most viable product first, and then adding on the refinements further. So it was really enriching experience for me.
I guess there are two more questions in the chat box, the new ones. Let me just read them out for you. Diksha is asking, did you have a project on your resume for Microsoft Engage?
I didn't have many major projects, but they were quite simple web development projects.
Uh, there's another question. Were you able to solve all the questions of online test? Any idea so that we become aware of our accuracy in competition?
I was able to solve most of the questions. They didn't like release the answer key or anything like that, but according to me, I was able to solve most of the questions correctly.
Okay, I think that completes the session. Is there anything that anyone would like to ask? I think there's another question. If we weren't aware of the answer, how should we deal with it?
So I think you should. There was a like the time. There were many questions, and the time was quite less per question. So I think you should attempt the questions, like prioritizing the questions which you know. You should not spend much time on the questions which you are not aware of. So that would help increasing your score.
Pavandeep is asking why most people go for web instead of Android. Any specific reason?
Maybe web development is easy to start with because you don't have much requirements, and also it is quite easy initially. Like HTML, CSS, JavaScript is quite easy. So that's why.
But that I would like to add that being the favorite of some people does should not basically decide a particular skill for you. If you like Android more, that will completely do for you. Because I know a lot of people who were Android developers and they are doing great.
Yeah, definitely.
Lavisha is asking, when will the application open? I think we have answered that. What is the time duration of uh, online assessment?
Yeah, so time duration was, I guess, 45 minutes to 1 hour, something like that.
Was there any timer on each question?
I guess yes, there was some timer associated with each question. I am not able to recall it completely, but I guess I'm not sure.
Okay. Diksha is asking, are mentees given a choice for projects for the English program?
No, actually, they assign you a topic for which you have to prepare the project. For example, for in our time, we were to build a web app or Android app or anything like that, of on which minimum two people, could connect on a video call. So this was the basic requirement for which, this was the basic requirement. If this requirement would not be fulfilled, the project would not be evaluated. So, and beyond this, we could implement any feature we would like to make our application stand out. So, we are not given any kind of choice for the projects. They give a topic and specific requirement. We have to build on that and inculcate any extra features we would like.
So that really gives you a creative freedom.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, okay, there's another question. If we wish by chance to make the same project as in program beforehand from our other GitHub, will it be helpful?
Yeah, so they would not be releasing any topics beforehand. So they would be deciding the topic for the project after you get selected for the mentorship. So yeah, you could get inspiration from the previous year topics and start practicing for developing it in case you want. But there is no like topic release beforehand. So you have to think on the spot in the 1 month time.
I think Stuti, she meant like if she made something and it turns out that they choose the similar topic and she was assigned a similar topic, then what, will it be fine to use the previous project that she had, or what should she do basically? What should be her action?
Yeah, so we were to provide our GitHub repo link for the project. So if you would use the previous project, so they might be able to see that you have used our previous project. But even if you create another repo, I think actually you could ask this question to the people if that you get selected for the mentorship because they are open for such questions. I'm not sure whether it would work or not.
Okay. Um, I think what my personal advice would be, I think as if we have done the project beforehand, you can actually use that and can create more over it. Uh, or maybe what you can do is you can be honest and you can tell that okay, I had this thing, I made this up, and now I'm done with this, and maybe you can take another project. So maybe when people are doing one project, you can do two projects. So I think it can always act as a leverage. So you just have to be a little honest, and that will do.
Yeah, that's really right.
Um, okay. Maybe we are done with the session. I don't see any other questions. So I think we can wrap it up. Thank you so much, Suti, for doing this. The session was really helpful and insightful. I think people over here got a lot of information, and I hope they do well in the coming codes, and then they can ping you and say thanks personally. Um, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure for me to address the people and their questions and help the community grow. So, all the best, guys.
Thank you so much. We are officially wrapping up this session. If you want to stay, you want to talk about something, please feel free to stay. Suti is here. You want to ask something personally, please feel free to ping her. She's on the server. Feel free to ping me or anyone from the community and keep coding and yeah, keep sharing. And also remember to help others and then your help.